Hello and welcome to another video. This is Voorhees Retro 81 and this is just something a little bit random that I felt like putting together some chatting about games stuff, and I thought of a topic that I haven't covered yet, and that is favourite Mega Drive games. And I thought I'd do a top 10 like I had for the Master System, so I'll do this in two parts. So this is going to be 10 to 6. Spot the burning, the smoke coming out of my ears as I tried to do maths on the fly. Um, so the Mega Drive is a system that I've had for quite a while, and I'm a big Sega guy, and I really loved the Sega arcade games. That was them and their ports was a lot of what got me into games back in the day. Things like Golden Axe, Afterburner, Altered Beast, etc. Um, so I thought it'd be a fun system to have a chat through, like my sort of greatest hits of that console's sort of back catalogue. So without further ado, number 10 is Mortal Kombat. My first experience with a Mega Drive was we borrowed my cousins when we went to stay with my nan one half term, and he had Mortal Kombat, Sonic 2, and Green Dog. And like Mortal Kombat was like I think it was the first fighting game I played. I hadn't played Street Fighter at this point because we had a PC, and I think at that point we just had a black and white PC, so you couldn't play things like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and such like on them. So it was just mind blowing seeing all the digitized graphics and such like. And oddly, although we were going to the arcades quite a lot, I'd not seen a Mortal Kombat arcade machine at the time either. And this has stuck with me as a game that's always fun to play. The original Mortal Kombat has a much stronger single player than 2, 3, or Ultimate. It's a lot more forgiving on a single player. So like this is the one I come back to all the time. I know a lot of people say Mortal Kombat 2 is better, but I do understand that. But I feel like that's within the multiplayer realm. Um, and we're whenever we have gaming nights, we're long past the point where we're playing Mortal Kombat nowadays. It's like the new Street Fight, the newer Street Fighters, Tekken, things like that and such like. Um, so this is kind of like this is something I come back to repeatedly on my own. So the fact that Mortal Kombat 1 has the strongest single player, I would say, the with the AI that cheat the least, and there's whole videos on how like the AI are kind of broken in Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 out there on the internet in the single player mode. But like I completely get people who play them all the time multiplayer going for those ones because they've got the bigger rosters, they've got more moves, more fatalities, etc. If you know how to do those. But anyway, yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 is my number 10. See, I could tell that I was going to get all waffly with this system because it's a big system for me. Even though it's not really like over time, it's sort of slipped back a few in the sort of like favorite systems list, but that's just purely because of how much like I grew to love the Master System when I got a Master System after the Mega Drive. But anyhow, number 9, Shadow Dancer, also known as Shadow Dancer: The Secret of Shinobi. I loved Shadow Dance from the C64. I loved it in the arcades. The Master System version is great as well. This is a This is a completely unique game to the Mega Drive. If you don't know about this, I mean, I'm sure you'll have heard of it, but the Mega Drive version of Shadow Dancer is a unique game that's completely designed for the Mega Drive. It's a fantastic sort of run and gun um, collectathon kind of platform game. Great sort of interplay between the main character and his dog, who you can um, send away to sort of confuse other enemies, so that you can take them out where normally you wouldn't be able to. So it's got a little bit of depth to it. Great boss fights, cool music, great effects and such. Like, it's just a really good game that I really don't think people, give enough clout to. It's a great game. He says not putting it top of the list, but I will explain that. I will explain. you know, there are some heavy hitters in terms of what people like on the Mega Drive a bit further up the list. Um, so, number 8. Asking me to count, it's just not a good idea. Number 8 is Zero Wing. Absolutely fantastic horizontal shooter. I didn't want to make this a whole Tower Plan list because I love the Tower Plan games on Mega Drive. I love Truxton as well, and Twin Hawk, Hellfire. It's a great set of games that they brought out on the Mega Drive. But Zero Wing takes the cake for me, and it's the first one I had as well, which I think means that the nostalgia wins over. But I wanted to just put a Tower Plan game on here, and I went with Zero Wing because it's the one I've had the longest, it's the one I've played the most, it's the one I'm best at, and I think it's the one that's got the best soundtrack, which people who like shooters, like, soundtrack is really important to shooters, and Zero Wing has definitely got the best of the Tower Plan soundtracks, I would say. Hellfire a close second, but Truxton and Twin Hawk can't really compare, I'd say, to Zero Wing. And obviously it's got the entertaining intro, which is actually really graphically impressive for the Mega Drive as well. And in a way, it's a shame that this game is predominantly known for having a bad translation. But all memes aside, this is a brilliant horizontal shooter, and you owe it to yourself to check it out if you like shooters in any regard. So, number 7, the black sheep of this series for many people, but the one that I grew up on, Super Street Fighter 2, which on the Mega Drive is not subtitled the new challenges, but this is where they added in Cammy, T-Hawk, Fei Long, and DJ to bolster the roster, and of course you can play as the bosses as well. I think I would say technically, probably because of the amount of work they needed to do to get all the content and such onto the cartridge for this, I would say that actually Championship Edition, which came out a bit earlier, is probably the technically better game. I know it definitely has better music, but this is the Street Fighter that has all the nostalgia for me, and it's my go-to. Once this came out, I was playing Cammy all the time, so being a Cammy main, I'm always going to want to play this over Champion Edition, though I do really enjoy Champion Edition as well, because I can play Cammy and I can do all the stuff that I can do in the other games, as opposed to having to just be Ryu or whatever, or Ryu. I'm sure it's probably Ryu in Japanese, but who knows? But yeah, so Super Street Fighter 2, and then finally for this batch, number 6 is a Gynoog, or possibly, I think it's Gynoog or Gynoog, not Gynog, because the U is last. This is another fantastic horizontal shooter. If you don't have a Mega Drive, this has recently been reissued with pixel sharp graphics on modern systems by I know I'm going to butcher this, Ratalaika Games, who have also reissued Gleylancer, which is another fantastic Mega Drive horizontal shooter, but I haven't brought up for the actual Mega Drive list, although that is a fantastic game that I really, really enjoy. Because I don't own it on the Mega Drive because it's rare as hen's teeth and it'll cost you both kidneys and most of your spine to buy these days. And I have PAL Mega Drive. All of my my Mega Drive games are PAL, so no imports, no Japanese games, etc. Anyway, and it only came out in Japan on the Mega Drive. But Day Launcher is well worth checking out as well if you're going down the modern system route with Gynu, because they're both very affordable as downloads. Again, brilliant music, really cool sort of like steampunk slash horror aesthetic. So some really gruesome and huge and creative boss fights. Like there's one where you're fighting like what seems to be like a sunken ship, and then like in the second phase of the attack, the ship rises up, and it turns out that it's like the head of a giant zombified. It's the hat of a giant zombified pirate, and then you fight the head, which fills up most of the screen afterwards. And it's just a really bizarre, really creative game with fantastic music, great gameplay, solid power up system, and for a shooter, I would say this is very forgiving. Um, I never have too much trouble getting to like maybe like the fourth stage of 5 or 6, like in one credit, and that's with dying. You know, I'm not some ninja. You know, one credit clear on every single game type shooter player. I do all right, but you know, I'm not. I'm not like one of these like shooter savants that you see around who can just like rip through everything without even getting shot or using a bomb or whatever. But you keep some of your power ups when you die on this, and it takes a long time for you to lose all of them. So it's not got that Gradius style, like one life and you're done, really. But oh yeah, we'll give you some extra lives anyway, kind of rubbish. It's like, you know, you can survive once you've died in this, which in a lot of shooters, that's curtains for you. Also, this has a system where when you die, you just respawn back on the screen. It's not like a checkpoint thing like R-Type or Zero Wing or Gradius or the such like. So you keep going on from where you copped it. So very good game and well worth checking out. Anyhow, that's the first half of this. I shall rock on with the second half when I can. Uh, Thank you very much for listening to me ramble, as always. Take care of yourselves, and peace out.